There's no season 2 for Magi, Adventures of Sinbad. But the story doesn't end there. The manga picks up right after the anime, and this is where everything starts to change. We get new characters, new conflicts, and the scale of the story gets way bigger. So if you've been waiting for season 2, this is basically episode 1 of season 2. We open on celebration. Food, laughter, people enjoying themselves. But underneath that, Sinbad is working. He's discussing trade expansion, transport systems, and economic growth. He's thinking about expanding routes, increasing shipments, building influence across nations. This is important because it shows something most people ignore. Sinbad isn't just strong, he's building a system, a machine, a kingdom that can't be ignored. Then suddenly, everything shifts. A message comes in. A customer is here. At a time when no one should be. That alone is already strange. But the reaction? Even worse. The staff are nervous. Something feels off. And then, a scream. Sinbad and the others rush in. And what they see is shocking. A creature, massive, inhuman, completely unrecognizable. At first glance, it looks like an enemy, something dangerous, something that shouldn't even be here. But then, it speaks. It apologizes. It says it didn't mean to scare anyone, and suddenly, everything changes. Because this monster is Jurkan, one of Sinbad's closest allies, one of the original companions, someone we've seen before, but now completely transformed. And the reaction says everything. Shock, confusion, tension. Even Sinbad pauses. Because this isn't just physical change. Something deeper has happened. Then we get the real conflict. A girl steps forward, angry, emotional, furious. She reveals herself. Serendine, first princess of the Parthenia Empire, and immediately, she accuses Sinbad, not as a king, not as a leader, but as a criminal. This is where everything flips. Serendine lays it out clearly. Sinbad abandoned the empire. He didn't pledge loyalty. He took the power of the jinn and used it for himself. And because of that, the empire fell. Everything collapsed. And now, she sees him living freely, successful, untouched, while her world was destroyed. This is the real core of the chapter, because this isn't about facts, it's about perspective. To Sinbad, he built something new. To her, he destroyed something old. She calls him a criminal. She says everything that happened is because of him. And for the first time in a while, Sinbad doesn't immediately respond. Then Drakon steps in, and this is important. He sides with the princess. He calls Sinbad a traitor, but at the same time, he's conflicted, because you can feel it. He still respects Sinbad, but he also carries the weight of what happened. Before things escalate further, another voice steps in, calm, controlled, trying to de-escalate the situation. We learn they're exhausted, mentally and physically, and there's more to the story, something bigger, something we haven't heard yet. And the chapter ends on one key line. They're going to explain why they were driven out of Parthenia, from beginning to end. This chapter does something very important. It redefines Sinbad, not as a hero, but as a controversial figure, someone whose actions built one world but destroyed another. And now, those consequences are catching up to him. If you want the next chapter breakdown and the full truth behind Parthenia, make sure you're subscribed, because this story, it only gets darker from here.